I would like to make a statement as chair of the Libya Sanctions Committee as follows. Today I convened a meeting on the Libya sanctions regime. In addition to the Sanctions Committee members, 23 additional member states and regional organizations were invited to discuss the implementation of sanctions. This meeting was convened amidst the increasing buildup we have perceived in the last months on both sides of the conflict of military equipment, arms, technical expertise, and personnel. These are alarming developments and flagrant violations of the arms embargo. The panel of experts was present and shared its latest insights with participants on the implementation of all sanctions measures. Their data reinforced the sanctions regime on Libya, comprising a two-way arms embargo, travel ban, asset freeze, and ban on illicit exports of oil and petroleum products, is binding under international law for all member states. And those member states and regional organizations which have been present today have a particular responsibility to fully implement all of these measures. If I may, I would like to make an additional statement, not as chair, but in my national capacities. Flagrant violations of the arms embargo continue. During the last months, we witnessed deliveries of arms, provision of military expertise, and an influx of foreign fighters into the country at an alarming rate. Several member states are complicit with breaching the arms embargo. The latest panel of experts report published last year names Jordan, Turkey, and the UAE as violators and reported on the presence of fighters from Chad and Sudan. In recent months and weeks, you have seen other countries mentioned as interfering in the conflict in media reports. Today's meeting was an opportunity to discuss such cases and to underline the vital importance that the sanctions related to Libya be implemented. This is a responsibility that all member states have. This is a responsibility in particular of those member states who were in today's meeting. Germany, as you know, has hosted the Berlin conference and the Berlin process. We are chair of the Sanctions Committee on Libya, so we feel we have a special responsibility here, and today's meeting was part of this. Thank you.
Are you taking questions, Ambassador?
I could try.
Okay. You have just there named names. You named Jordan, you named Turkey, you named UAE. What did those countries have to say about those claims against them? And clearly there are names that have not been mentioned here. The panel of experts report has repeatedly said that there are Russians from the Wagner group who are operating in Libya. What did you hear about the Wagner group and their operations on the ground, and why didn't you mention those Russian operatives?
Well, let me just say the following. The countries that I was enumerating are mentioned in the last report of the panel of experts that is published. The meeting that we have just had, as you know, was a closed meeting, so I will not go into details. I will just limit myself to saying that we had a very frank exchange on the implementation of these sanctions and on violations that have taken place.
I have a question, Ambassador, if I may.
Alan, go ahead.
My name is Ibtisam Azim from Al Arabi Al Jadid newspaper. So my question is, are you afraid that the Berlin Agreement is in danger? I mean, did you also talk about any further steps?
This meeting today, this closed meeting, was a meeting specifically addressing questions related to the implementation of sanctions. Yet it is, I think, no secret to say that I have referred to Berlin in this meeting. Berlin remains a reference point regarding the process in Libya. And for me as German representative, it is important that we continue to take Berlin seriously, and implementation of sanctions is part of that.
Just a follow-up. Which reactions did you get from countries? I mean, talking about implementation of sanctions, countries have been talking about it, but on the ground, as you said, many countries are not implementing such sanctions. Which reactions did you get from the countries who are accused of not standing by the embargo? Thank you.
Go into more detail on that. Thanks anyhow for the questions.
Thank you very much, Ambassador, for doing this.
Thank you. Bye-bye.